Hello there, YouTube. Man, it's been a minute since I've came on here and spoken. I had all sorts of fancy scripts, fancy plots, fancy edits and montages planned for this video because it's a very big one to my heart, where I become vulnerable. And one thing you should know about me, I don't like being vulnerable, but I guess the first step to growth or change is admitting where you were wrong. And after careful analysis of my own self, I realized that perhaps I was trying the wrong way all along. I was always trying to add things to my life, whether it was skills, whether it was hobbies, whether it was love, whether it was many things, but perhaps I was wrong all along. That rhymed. Perhaps all I needed was just to let go of some things. And the easiest thing you could do is just to analyze where you're weak and just to let go of these weaknesses, whether these are relationships, friends, career choice, whatever it is for you. It was for me, addiction. And funny enough, the place where I'm recording this right now is the place where I used to practice my addiction. And you probably guessed from the title, this is an ultimate dopamine detox. I tried actually recording this video about 10 times already, each one running over 15 minutes, and I delete every one of them every time I try to record a new video, but I'm just never satisfied with the end product. Although they're probably way harder to record than this video, but I thought it's way better to speak from the heart and sincerely, and it adds a little bit of flavor that this is the place where I most practice my addiction. So why did I embark on this ultimate dopamine detox, whatever? Well, it was due to a few inspirations, perhaps most importantly Jordan Peterson, his book 12 Rules for Life, which I still haven't finished, but it totally changed my perspective on life, because basically everything he speaks of or about can be applied directly in my life. And although the rules in his book seem a little bit arbitrary to some, like stand up straight or never let your kids do something that you don't like, but his explanation and each chapter he delves deep, and you could generalize his advice. And also Andrew Huberman had an immense effect on me as well, because, well, he speaks about the danger of addictions and porn and letting something control you, most of all. I'm gonna speak loudly here, but we're in Ramadan. Happy Ramadan to all Muslim guys watching this, and even if you're not Muslim, just take it easy, bro. Anyway, let's just get deep into it. So what were my 3 addictions, to be exact? So number 1, porn. I'm gonna speak from most potent, or most the biggest thing that I want to change to the least. Porn, number 1. Weed, number 2. And 3 is cigarettes. So I pick up that habit in quarantine. When my friends are not ready to come down, they're all scared about COVID, and I'm the scientific guy, I'm not really scared. So I go out and all I can do is just smoke. At the time I only smoked normal cigarettes, but I get hooked, and all my friends around me smoke as well, so I'm like, why not, let's just keep doing it. But also something else that made me decide to quit it is it doesn't give you any long-term pleasure whatsoever, unlike weed or porn. I also noticed that my shortness of breath was getting really significant and really bad. I am an athlete, so I don't like feeling short of breath, especially in real life. Like when I'm just doing things while I'm walking in university, I was starting to get short of breath. I'm like 77 kilo, 20 years old. How am I getting short of breath? So that was like a huge red flag to me. But yeah, that's about cigarettes for me. I was never really hooked on them. Quitting cigarettes for me was always actually kind of easy. I actually stopped smoking like 2 months ago, completely about cigarettes. I'm sorry if it's super windy. I know, I tried to get the least wind, but it's still super windy, so bear with me. Second, weed. Well, this is perhaps the one that I enjoy most out of the 3, because it's financially, for me, better than cigarettes, because cigarettes you can run through a pack, you give your friends, and it's just all gone. Second, I can pretty much, if I stay at home, smoke one joint the whole day. I just take 2 puffs, go about my day, come back, take 2 puffs, and I basically just, I'm high all the day. One joint. Weed is really dependent on who you hang out with and how you respond to it, or you convince yourself you respond to it. But other friends, like when I sit with friends, like we could run through like 12, 13 joints, no problem. Of course, I'll get just as high, but it won't be as fun. Anyway, lastly, and perhaps most significant, and the biggest one that I want to change is porn. Porn was something that I've struggled with for a long, long time. It was a huge, huge influence on my life. The other two were things that I kind of picked up as an adult, relatively, like 18 plus, or well, 17 plus. But porn was something that I was shown when I was 11, 12. I was a depressed middle school kid with nothing to aim for except just instantaneous pleasure. And that's what's the easiest way to get that? A few finger clicks and you could see more women than you could ever dream about in real life. So it got pretty bad in middle school. I was doing it all day, every day. I was just staying at home. Like, there was no reason to leave home, or you could just pleasure yourself all day. I went into high school and there was girls around me all the time. Well, not for me specifically, but just in the school. So I was like, well, there's something now to improve for. As shallow as it is, this is just the mind of a 14, 15-year-old. There's something to improve for. So I sat down with myself. I was like, you're a skinny, depressed, ugly, frail, stinky kid. You have to change. You're pathetic. And I faced my reality. When I left high school, I was just as flawed in different aspects, but I did not hold the same porn addiction. Now, when I left high school, it all kind of came back. I kind of picked up different habits, cigarettes and weed namely, but also drinking, also street racing. So things kind of turned downhill. I started also feeling a lot of health problems, not because of them. My immune system started tripping out. I had varicose veins that I had to get surgery for. I had a few injuries in the gym. So everything was just kind of going downhill. My business was kind of falling apart. It is what it is. So I wish there was actually a counter on how many times I actually tried to quit porn, because it would be hilarious. It's definitely in the triple digits, maybe even in the 4 digits. It's a bare minimum of 200-300 times, but I'm not sure if it'll get to 4 digits. I just haven't been around for that long in life, right? Mathematically, it's very unlikely. I'm sorry if I sound very sniffly, if that's a word. I just got a cold. I'm not sure if it's because of withdrawals. I'll get into the side effects that I felt during these 5 days, but that's basically the backstory. Porn is the thing that most damaged me, and most potently perhaps is it affected my confidence with women. That's the biggest thing I noticed. There was no reason for me to be ballsy or learn how to talk with women, because you kind of have a different strategy when talking with women. So that kind of set me a little bit back, like actually quite a bit back. And during my time in high school, I wasn't really that savvy, right? But it is what it is. You learn and you improve. So among the reasons that I also wanted to quit, one of the biggest reasons that I just recall right now is short-term memory. Weed definitely affects your memory, bro. I was forgetting things that happened yesterday, the same morning, not because I was high, even if I was sober. I was like, this is fucking awful. This is absolutely awful. I don't like this. Because I hold my mind to a very high standard, and it pisses me off when I can't perform, when I'm trying to perform, right? It's a different thing when you're just not trying to perform, so you don't perform. It's like, who cares? But when you're actually trying to perform and you can't, due to something you're consuming for your own pleasure, I didn't like that. And I definitely noticed that it started becoming a coping mechanism for me from life. Like any bad situation that would happen, I would go for weed. And that's when I knew like that relationship with the drug had to change. I'm not gonna say it was easy. Actually, yesterday I was in the exact same spot here, and I was offered to smoke, but I turned it down. I was like, no, I'm gonna stay strong on the path. And what are the perhaps withdrawal symptoms that I felt? First one is definitely and most potent is the night sweats. Perhaps it's been like 4 days now where I have to wake like 2 or 3 times a night and change my clothes completely, just from how much I'm dripped in sweat. It feels awful, and it doesn't feel good. So I kind of compromised and I started training really, really hard during this past 5 days, and that definitely did not help with the cold that I got now. So I'm gonna take the next few days off training, probably keep drinking as much water as I can, getting that THC out of my system. But also, one of the main reasons, I keep going back to that, but I keep remembering them right now. One of the biggest reasons that I want also to change was the fact that I stopped feeling any stimulation or pleasure in life, in normal life. It was awful. My dopamine system was very spiky. Like, I would smoke and drink and bust nuts, and I would go back to normal life, and I'm like, what the fuck, this is not worth it, right? Especially your prolactin is high, your testosterone is low, estrogen high, it's all kind of spikes, and that's only the sexual hormones, let alone your dopamine system is all the way messed up, your serotonin system is all the way messed up. When you bust nuts, you produce oxytocin that has nowhere to go, so you kind of bond with yourself, and it leaves an emptiness. It's just a horrible, horrible situation to be in. And honestly, it got so bad that I felt extremely depressed. I didn't have reason to get out of bed. So I was like, yeah, this is awful. Let me just try to give this up and maybe change. So the night sweats for sure. Second is perhaps the very vivid dreams. My God, I'm not sure if it's just because of the REM sleep and my brain is on overdrive. That's what most likely it is. But goddamn, bro, like the past 4 days, I've been dreaming so vividly. I've been like living that dream. It's been interesting. I've had one nightmare that was awful, and I wasn't scared, but it was just awful. It was a very weird feeling because it felt exactly like real life. It felt like my reality, and my brain did not even question it. I also dreamt about having my dream car, a Turbo S that I stole from a car shop. It was like Grand Theft Auto. But anyway, extreme mood swings, sudden mood swings. It's not really that my brain is in a bad space. I just get irritated from the smallest things. Like my brother could open the door, or my sister walks in front of the camera or something like that, and I just fucking get pissed out of my mind for some reason. But I still control it. Like, I'm not gonna kill someone, but it's not a good feeling. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Day 5, I'm gonna keep you updated. Perhaps maybe every 5 days I'm gonna make a video saying how I feel, if I feel any different, if I feel any better. Right now, do I feel any better? No, I feel accomplished, but I feel I still get the intense cravings. Actually, this morning, kind of like removing the porn tabs because I had a lot of them open on my phone, and I was looking through them, and I watched like 3 minutes of a video, and I was getting close to enter and do my thing, but I was like, hell no. Get your mind right, stay focused. And also yesterday I turned down the weed, so I feel accomplished for turning the things that I would never turn down before, but hopefully I just stay persistent and stay strong with it. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. If any of you are willing to embark on this journey and are looking for support, I'm always here. Always get better. Always strive to be that 1% better, guys. And yeah, guys, that's I think about it. Oh, and one last thing. This is what I used as a tripod. So as DIY as it gets. It's very, very windy, as you can probably see, but man, this is a very DIY setup, but you can't lie, this is a very, very beautiful view. Like, it never gets old. And I hope with the dopamine detox, I can kind of hopefully see more beauty in life.